Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in another video today, and today we're going to talk about the Toronto Blue Jays potentially signing Kyle Tucker from the Chicago Cubs, of course, who is one of the biggest free agents you got out there, probably the biggest free agent out there in the market. And this is why I'm talking about this. Is Jeff Passan said yesterday that he thinks the team that has the best chance of signing Kyle Tucker at this point, the betting favorite, would be the Toronto Blue Jays for four-time All-Star and World Series champion Kyle Tucker. It would definitely be, a great addition for a team that just lost in the World Series, and I'll say it choked in the World Series against the Los Angeles Dodgers. It's unfortunate. I wanted Toronto to win, even though I shouldn't root for the non-American team. I wanted Toronto to win because I dislike the Dodgers and, didn't want to see a team with that has spent as much money as they have win the World Series. So I was rooting for the Jays, and also as a Houston Astros fan, I want to see George Springer and Miles Straw win a World Series. I love those guys in Houston, and that's why I wanted to talk about this, because I've heard stuff about Miles Straw potentially trying to, use his, I don't know how many people know this. As an Astros fan myself, I know this. Miles Straw and Kyle Tucker are really good friends. Miles Straw doesn't play a whole lot. He's a great defender, and he's got great speed, but he's a great backup to have, I think. And I think Miles Straw is trying to root Kyle Tucker, recruit him, as is better to say, to the Toronto Blue Jays. You also got George Springer, who's his former teammate. And so we'll just see if this is something that ends up happening. But Tucker wants a lot of money. I think the Blue Jays, if you're going to want to compete with the Dodgers, you're going to have to spend like the Dodgers, right? So I think it's hard to say, does Tucker push them to a World Series win? I mean, the team they had just this year I thought was really good, and I think they had the talent enough to win it. They just couldn't, I wouldn't say they didn't have the talent to win the World Series, because they had the talent and they played great baseball against the Dodgers. They just really, I think, choked the World Series. And so, but would Tucker change things for them? I don't know. I think he'd give them a better chance, though. So, but it would be a lot of money spent by the Toronto Blue Jays. Is that something they're willing to do? Who knows? But Tucker would be reunited with some familiar faces in Miles Straw and George Springer. And Miles Straw, I think, is one of his best friends. So that definitely would be interesting. But you guys in the comment section, give me your thoughts on the Toronto Blue Jays, potentially bringing in Tucker. Do you guys think this is something that they need at all? Or do you guys think that, they should just stick with the team they have? I was going to say No, I am right when I was going to say this. Joey Loperfido is another guy. Was teammates with Kyle Tucker last year. But yeah, so not only do you got George Springer and Miles Straw, but you also got Joey Loperfido, who's another teammate of Kyle Tucker. And I don't know how much. I don't think Jake Bloss has pitched with the Blue Jays yet, and I don't think they have much of a relationship. But that's another former teammate of Kyle Tucker's who was involved in that Yusei Kikuchi Astros Blue Jays trade. But you guys give me your thoughts on the potential signing for the Cubs potential signing for the Blue Jays in the comment section, and peace out.